In the last video of my Fresh Start World series, we finished off Desert Treasure and I was bursting for 82 magic. 10 hours later and there we go, 82 magic is done, fully completed, and now we can go PK if we want to. In this video, I'm going to be doing a bunch of different things. We're going to be questing, PKing, building the account up, we're going to be training some melee stats, and I'm going to give you guys a good outlook at where my account currently is. Anyways though, I'm going to be doing another arcane giveaway on this video, so if you want a chance to win a free arcane spirit shield, just leave a like on this video, comment down below with your username, and of course subscribe to the channel. Also remember guys, I stream all of this over on Twitch, so if you guys do enjoy these videos, come and check them out over there as well. You can see everything that happens before I upload on YouTube. Hang out with me in the chat. It gives me a good opportunity to get to know you guys, and it will make a very enjoyable process for when you guys watch these videos, because you'll have a good idea about everything that happened outside of these clips. Anyways guys, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Since we were one of the first people in the game to get 82 magic, I had to go and test it out at the Revenant caves. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not doing the deeper Revenants. Even though you can safe spot a lot of them, people are choosing to do the lower revs, which is understandable because a lot of people are in fact low levels. So I'm not going to be using ancients. I switched off to regular spells, and I'm using a wizard's mind bond to pot TB because there's no magic pots in the game yet. So let's see what we can find. Now that's something I haven't seen in Runescape for a very long time, killing someone and getting the loot on the ground instead of it going straight to your inventory in the form of a loot key. The loot for this wasn't that great, but we did get his 100k because he did die inside the Rev Cave. It was taking me quite a while to find other people to kill because my account is pretty far ahead of other players on the Fresh World, so I decided to go to Dagonoth Kings. I switched back to Ancients, and since I can use blood spells to heal, I should be able to last here for a very long time. After doing one trip, I realized this probably isn't the best use of my time, especially because I'm not going to imbue any of these rings anytime soon. It's a massive pain on Fresh Start Worlds to swap spellbooks because you have to actually go all the way back to the pyramid instead of using a cape, spellbook swap, or an altar because none of those things are in the game yet, and ended up running into this guy in the northern part of the Revenant caves because I wanted to give Blitz PKing one more try. He ended up running to Multi and his friend decided to help him out. I chased him into Multi and decided to fight 2 versus 1, but little did he know that I had a surprise waiting for him. Now that's absolutely hilarious. We pulled the reverse Uno card and we got Rev Killer 900, and this guy here is actually very toxic. I've ran into him many times in the Revenant caves, and for anyone here who's confused at what happened, basically I have a roommate who's also a streamer and YouTuber. I'll put his link down below in the description. His name is Vank. He's also been grinding Fresh Start Worlds with me like 20 hours a day, and instead of these guys 2v1ing me, we switched it on them and basically pulled the rug out from underneath them. Ended up killing them by 2v2ing, and if you guys checked out, this guy's partner actually logged out and left him to die, something that neither of us would ever do. After seeing that my roommate has 70 range, I got a little bit jealous. I want some black dragon hide as well, so we're gonna go and chin for a bit and get 70 range out of the way. Okay, 68 range done, and here is 70. Now that we've got some better range gear, I want to try and PK in the Slayer caves. There's a ton of people down here doing Wilderness Slayer using cannons, and this is probably one of the most active places in the game. The only problem is that it's multi. Oh shit! They just tried to hit us on login. We got away though. Did you live? Probably not the smartest thing to do while streaming on Twitch. Lucky for us, we have an audience of people that are also playing Fresh Start World, so we can actually fight back. We have assembled a mighty team of warriors throughout the Twitch chats. We've gathered them into a clan chat, And even though the majority of them are between 30 and 40 combat, they may not be much, but they're ours. And we're going to do whatever we got to do to get revenge on that team and see if they'll even give us a fair fight. Okay, so maybe that wasn't the most intense battle ever, but there's definitely something really fun and nostalgic about doing some low-level multi-PKing. You'll never see content like this ever in RuneScape ever again because it simply just doesn't exist on a scale big enough to survive. But on a game mode like Fresh Start Worlds, this is something that you will see time and time again, and it's really fun to be a part of. It has been long enough, and I'm done being a mage range build. It's time to start incorporating some real tribrid, and in order to do that, we're going to need some defenders. So I headed over to the Sand Crabs, AFK'd for a little bit, and got 130 combined levels between attack and strength, and now we can access the Warriors Guild and unlock some really good items. The first few defenders weren't too terrible, but this black defender must have taken me about 2 hours. This was the most gruesome part of the defender grind, but we finally did get the black defender, and now we need to go get some more tokens, and we're going to try and grab the rune as soon as possible. This mithril defender was actually worse than getting the black defender. I forgot to show the person outside the room that I ended up getting my black defender in the first place, so I ended up getting 2 black defenders before noticing, and then eventually I ended up getting this mithril one. This grind is such a pain. And there we go. After 4 long hours, we finally got ourselves a brand new blue shiny rune defender, and we can finally leave the Warriors Guild because I'm nowhere near 60 defense, and this isn't deadman mode, so that's going to take about 5 to 6 hours to get. This is absolutely ridiculous. This has got to be the best RNG I've ever seen on RuneScape. A viewer in my Twitch live stream and a friend of mine ended up getting the 16 mil relic on a level 37 account by killing the imp. The drop rate on that is absolutely unreal, and I have no idea how he managed to do this in just a couple kills. He ended up giving it to me to cash in for him because he didn't want to risk dying for it on the way up because he's such a low level, and he also gave me 1 mil for helping him out. The GE shows this is about 100k, but those cannonballs are about 4 times the price on the Fresh Start Worlds. I was hunting people doing the Revenant Knight safe spot method, and I ended up getting attacked by this guy named Slutherman, and this guy's account was pretty insane. He already has barrel gloves, and his account is relatively the same as mine outside of that. So this is going to be an interesting fight, and he might even have a slight advantage on me. Oh, that's actually so annoying. I misclicked on the dragon because my attack options weren't turned off because this is a fresh account in a fresh start server, and he ended up getting gap because I misclicked and ended up logging out. I don't know how much food this guy had, but I assume it was less than mine if he ended up running, especially because we were pretty much even on damage, and I had brews pretty early into the game mode when almost no one else had them. Even though Slotherman ran from me, he had a pretty cool method of using magic. Essentially what he was doing was using wave sacks that he acquired from the PvP arena, and there is actually a PvP arena attached to the Fresh Start Worlds. So I hopped over there, did a couple fights, won all of them, and then decided to go and get myself some sacks so that I can use Fire Surge and Fire Wave without actually using a bunch of runes in my inventory. This is extremely helpful on early account builds because you have so many switches, so little food, and not a lot to work with. So now we're going to be able to save 2 spaces. I won't be using Zami Flames anymore, but Fire Wave hits just as hard. Finding other deep wild PKers on the first star worlds right now is a little bit difficult, so a friend of mine and fellow live streamer named Squidward asked me to do some fights with him around Chins, and since we're both in some pretty good gear, I decided to give it a go. I didn't even realize, but before long, he was completely out of food and he ended up logging out underneath me. I decided to run down to the bank to try and escape, and that's when this level 61 peer decided to jump me, teleblock me, and for some reason, he thought he could kill me. Once this guy was headed towards multi, I kind of figured this was what he was going for. Unfortunately for this team, I'm just too fast. I've been dealing with these clans for way too long. Unlike the Revenant caves, you don't get an additional 100k just for killing somebody in the wilderness, so these two loots at first glance don't look like a lot. However, I did actually get this guy's Elder Druid bottom, and that there, in my opinion, is a glitch with the Fresh Start Worlds. Right now, I also have a Mage's Book, and both these items have pretty much zero alch value, and because they're not being traded in the GE, they don't protect over anything. Literally, a lobster will protect over my Mage's Book, and that's why I think this guy here ended up losing his Druid bottom. He probably thought that he kept it, because in the main game, you definitely would. It's worth a couple mil, but in here, even a herb or like a vial would protect over it. I'm having the worst time finding other PKers and other players in the wilderness on these Fresh Start Worlds, and to be honest, it's kind of my own fault. When Fresh Start Worlds first came out, it launched at 4 a.m. my time, and after playing for like 12 to 14 hours, I basically messed up my sleep schedule, and as a content creator, I don't really have obligations throughout the day. My job is to basically make content, so I can pretty much operate at any time zone. However, this is making it really difficult to make things happen for YouTube videos, so I decided to spend the nights grinding out quests, and I'm currently working on Recipe for Disaster. Once I get barrel gloves, I'm going to have a really nice advantage over a lot of PKers, and I'm working to flip my sleep schedule back around so that I can go and fight more people. We're currently working towards rune gloves, and then we're going to have to bang out a lot of other quests, skills, and requirements before going for barrel gloves at the end. But when we get them, it'll be so rewarding. We'll have more accuracy, more damage, and we'll actually look really sick as well. Oh man, if there's one thing I did not miss about building a Runescape account, it's making yourself a spicy stew for Evil Dave while using a Hell Kitten. This year took quite a while, but we did manage to get it done, and now we're currently at Mithril Gloves. It's been so long since I did the Nature Spirit quest. I think the last time I actually had to do this was on the original Deadman mode before they gave you quest unlocks, and that was in late 2015, I believe. So it's been, yeah, like 7 or 8 years since I last did this quest. And that actually makes perfect sense because you don't need to do Nature Spirit to make Pures, and those are the only type of accounts that I've built since then. So as you guys can see, we've now got the Lumbridge guy done, and that is going to give us adamant gloves. For Rune, I'm going to need to bang out some agility and also some cooking, so that's going to take a little bit of time, but adamant gloves for one night of questing is pretty decent. After I spent about 4 hours questing, decided to try and check out the wilderness again, and the dungeon for Slayer is definitely the most active place so far that I've found people at, and he decided to be toxic while running over to the spider, which is a lot stronger than I am, and it ended up one-hitting him. That there basically was a death sentence, not sure why he did that. But he gave us some free cannonballs, and I'm putting those straight into the GE. I'm starting to think that the meta for PKing on Fresh Start Worlds is just hoping that people are dumb enough to run into bosses. This guy here did the exact same thing. He ran into the Revenant boss, which just completely obliterated him, and we actually ended up getting a pretty decent kill off this guy, roughly 500k. I figured it was time to go for a fire cape, but in order to do that, I'm going to need some supplies, and they can get pretty expensive. So I started pulling out random items from the bank that I've PK'd. And if you remember a couple clips ago, I did PK somebody for a Druidic Bottom. He was just a one-itemer and I didn't really think much of it. However, this here actually sold in the GE for 750k, so that's probably the biggest PK I've actually gotten so far. Okay, we finally made it to Jad. I've got the healers on me, and I've basically started Jad with about 2 super restores. My RNG has been absolutely zero. We haven't been hitting anything, and now we're really down to the wire. We've got about 30 prayer left, and Jad's at 130 HP. For some reason, in every single game mode, I always mess up when it comes to fire capes. What's crazy is I've been getting fire capes since I was like 10 years old. I clearly know how to do them. I just always end up doing something that prevents me from getting it. In this case, I brought too many brews, ended up running out of restores, and also had some bad RNG. It is what it is. We'll get it back in the next episode. But for now, I think we're going to call it a break. And let's see who won that arcane from the last video. All right, guys, we are loading up over 500 comments once again. And the random winner is, okay, that's a very weird username. But if you just message me in game, Twitter, Instagram, or Discord, I have an arcane spirit shield waiting for you. Also, I appreciate how many people made comments on the last video about me alking while killing that guy. Look, man, I'm just trying to be EXP efficient. And if I have the runes on me, he's not fighting back. I'm definitely going to be getting those alks in. And that is going to conclude the video for today. Thank you guys so much if you did make it all the way through until the end of the video. Once again, guys, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to be really consistent with YouTube. I believe that this is the 4th video I've uploaded in about a week, so pretty happy and impressed with myself for that because my consistency on YouTube over the last while has not been the best. But we're back on the grind, uploading every day, and honestly, the support from you guys on the last 2 videos especially has been amazing, so I really do appreciate it, guys. Make sure to join the Twitch live stream, check out all links in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next one.